Good morning, everybody. This is Max Farrow. This is DexTrader.com. Today is August 8th, 2018, and this is Trading with Max. You know, in the beginning of this video, there's that little intro that I do, and then right after is a little swash, and then a risk disclaimer, which is pretty important. So I want you guys to really pay attention to that. I just got here into the market, and I want to show you something because I got here at 10 o'clock. I looked at my economic calendar. Okay. Now, normally I look at this early in the morning when I get into the office, but this morning I just had so many things that were going on. Life gets in the way. I get about 25 minutes, about 10 minutes prior to this, I'm going to quit trading because it's a three bull. It's crude oil, so it's going to affect CAD. It's going to affect USD or AUD USD as well. This is going to really crush some time periods. So I don't have a lot of time. So today's video is going to be more about the theory and looking at the trend. I don't think I'm really going to risk getting into anything right at the moment because at 8:30 this morning there was a lot of stuff that was coming over. Nothing too serious, but it's still enough. You know, it's been 1.5 hours. I don't think it's going to affect it too much. But with the big crude oil inventories coming off this morning, I don't want to take too much of a chance, especially with what I'm about to tell you. The concept here is simple. You know, when I first get to the computer and I sit down and I watch the Foursquare, okay, this is the web-based Foursquare that we have on the site. I immediately look. The first thing that I gravitate to is where did it start? Where's it ending? Right? Because I really do look. Yeah, it begins to start as a trend. If I see a bunch of consolidation and it's just really stuck, you got to be creative, right? You got to really look. Let me see if I can find a consolidation. I can't really find anything right now consolidating. You know, everything's pretty clear up or down in this world. But when I see nice fluid tracks of higher highs and lower lows, okay, you get a little bit of pushback here from something like this, but the arrow, the signal, comes out above the previous high, which gives me a great indication that I don't want to go at the arrow for my number. I want to come right here at this little next crest and come back to that and find out what that price is. And that price is 74.06. So if I were to jump over to, say, my live account, and we're going to get over to here, Audi USD, 74. What did I say that was? 74.06. I have a lot of windows open, so I do apologize. I'm going to try to get to that quickly. 74.06. And I'm for the buy. 74.05 would work out just fine. But again, I'm coming in a little bit late. Now, if you've noticed, during high volatile times, the pairs have a gap spread of four pips, and then I think it's after 12 noon, okay, it jumps down to 2. Okay, I'm not sure when it goes back up again. I got to find out, and once I do, I'll let everybody know. Okay, but 74.06 is where I would have been if I would have gotten into this trade. If I'm this late in the game, let's just say it starts to fluctuate. Do I go with this trade if it was a good trade? Okay. Do I go with this one? Because if I come at the arrow, right where the arrowhead is, at 74.07, yeah, I could do something, but there was nothing on Nadex there for that. 74.07 wasn't there. It doesn't really matter. What it comes down to is that I don't choke up. I'm always going into the trade, right? Because we're here to protect ourselves. We're here to protect our balance. We're not here to just win a bunch of trades. Okay, I have to win the right ones. What I mean by winning the right ones is I mean the ones that will create good habits within my life. Okay, because we use a flow system. That 1, we check trend. Okay, 2, we check support and resistance. And we check the level, just like I did right here. I come in once the arrow establishes. I come in and I check. Where are my support and resistance? Do I have room to move? The answer is yes, I have room to move up. Okay, so 74.06 would have been my number. sitting at 74.07. Got 20 seconds left. If there was a 74.06 available at the time, would we have won? And the answer is dun, dun, dun. 7 seconds left. 7 seconds. So I'm looking at 74.06. Make sure it doesn't fall below that. And there, that would have been a win if there was a 74.06. If we would have gotten onto that, I'm not advocating sitting here paper trading all day with you to say if these numbers are real. Okay, these numbers are real. We wouldn't have a balance like this and things moving on if it wasn't. Okay, and wouldn't be doing withdrawals the way I do. So there is a part of trading that when you first get into your mode, okay, it's what do I do? But when I first got here, the one thing that I did see, even if I drop over to the Euro USD, is that I did see that this was an up pattern. Okay, the pattern was up, but it started to break right here. Okay, and this got us our break line here. This was our bounce line, if you will. Okay, and one thing I know for sure is that bounce line was heavy. Okay, and then when it bounced off of this to go back up, this gave us our first signal. Now, a couple of good things. Our first signal in that direction, okay, but with this kind of tort where it dropped down below and right around by these lows, right? All these little arced lows weren't really hit too much. This is more about consolidation right here. Okay, so this consolidation that is happening right here was pushed out by this one. But again, I'm looking for perfection in the arrows. So nothing has been reestablished. Once things started to break down right here, when we had this little immersion right here, okay, this arrow doesn't signify that, yes, it's still an uptrend. This arrow says, hey, okay, we're going in the right direction. Now, I could have taken this as a trade, but where would I have taken my number? I wouldn't have taken it right here, okay? I would have come down here to take the trade, to take the number. And that number would have been 15.86 at that point. Now, there may not have been anything available. It's 15.82 to 15.92. Yeah, that's too many pips in there because remember, it's 4 pips apart right around that area. So there wouldn't have been a lot possible to get into at that point. All right. So that's basically what I start to look at is where is the trend. Let's read this one here. The Great Britain Pound USD has a nice clear run. Okay. And you basically want to get into a run that's like from here to around here, right? Things start to fall apart when they go too far. But in our case, it's easy to start seeing that we get a good run. No real breakages. Even this right here sort of stays within this pack of up and down with a little bit of news that was happening there. Okay. But then we hit a top, right? We hit a top area, and now we're going back in the other direction. But you have to pay attention to news, right? Because news will throw stuff out. It'll let it get to a top area, and then it'll bounce off. Because what it wants to do is it wants to get back to this area, right, where it was going before the news pushed it all out. Okay, and that's hard to see here, like right here. Okay, just like that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it was going here, and see how it got kind of pushed out. It's trying to get back to here to get to that level. Got it? Okay, so you got to kind of pay attention to where the prices were at prior to news. Once you get back in, you got to let things settle out. And it doesn't just take a couple of minutes. It may take a half hour. It may take an hour. But get in and sit down after news and let the thing let it just do its thing. Okay? The same thing here. We had the news kind of come in and hit, do a few things. Let me see if I can get back over. Reload frame. There we go. Okay. Came down, pushed out a little bit. We tested this area. In fact, we've created almost a wedge pattern right here. Okay, immersed out. This first arrow. Okay, this one could have been the arrow to push. Now, where would that number have been? Well, to be honest with you, I would have probably stayed right around in this area, this little pushback. Okay, stay up in that area, and this would have been a win. Okay, again, we got some pullback down, and again, where would this price have been? Not on the tip of the arrow. Okay, but again, back up at this level of 110.97. If we could have got in, that would only been 2 pips difference. I think it would have had money on it still when it came off. But I would have came back at that 97 area instead of another number. Remember, you got to keep in mind the indicative price. You got to keep one eye on the door, if you will, for the indicative price, you know, because that makes a lot of difference. Now we just had a ring off here, second arrow in a row. Would you go with this one? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. Even though, because now we're starting to ring out above, since we're in a downtrend. Okay, got a little consolidation right there, a little wedge pattern happening, immersion, and now we're heading back up, probably up to these levels again. Okay, or real close to it, you know, if it's going to continue the downtrend. But let it do its thing. Start depicting where it's going to go. Make your adjustments and say, okay, this is where I think it's going to go, and see if you're correct. You can trade on demo. You can trade using paper style, like just looking at the numbers. But eventually, you've got to get to a point where you're going to squeeze that trigger. Now, before I go, I'm going to let you know of a little series what we're going to do. We're going to go into our live account, and I'm going to remove all but $1,000, okay, from the live account, because I want you to see me do the incremental crawl from start to finish. Okay, and I won't even say to finish, but I want to make the series to where we start up with $1,000, we start up with one contract. This is the great personal risk to me, because I have to trade. I'm going to trade it in this mentality that I'm somebody brand new, and I'm only going to trade one contract at a time. I'm going to do there's a few things that are going to happen. One, I'm going to do it's going to start with $1,000. Okay, and that may not seem like a lot of money to some, but to most of our customers it is. Okay, 2, I'm going to trade with only one contract at a time until I hit my number, okay, which is $700. So every $700, I'm going to jump up one contract, right? So every 700, I'm going to go up one contract. All right, so at 1,700, I'll be doing 2 contracts. Now, at this rate, it's going to take a month, right? Because I'm usually only doing one to 2 trades a day. So I'm only really going to be making about $60 a day. It may take 10 days, 20 days to get to this point of videos, but you're going to see it grow every single day. You're going to see it grow. And this series is going to be extraordinary. And I'll put it into a fast forward series too, which would be pretty cool. All right. I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex Trader. I look forward to seeing you inside. I hope you got some information from today. I'm probably not going to trade until later on this afternoon. If I do, I'll record my trades and I'll send them over to you. Everybody have a great day. Look forward to seeing you inside. And as always, trade well.